Hello, and welcome to today's episode. The Bible is referred to as the living Word of God. It isn't a book that is meant to simply be read. It is a perspective-altering substance that is meant to be ingested and absorbed into you. When it becomes a part of you, it changes you, and that is exactly what it is meant to do. A psalm is a spiritual song based on a profound, foundational insight that is expressed in the form of music, which is usually plucked out on a harp. This is my own paraphrase of the Psalms. Now, there is an important difference between a paraphrase and a translation, and it is important to understand what that difference is. A translation takes a text word by word and finds the most accurate word in another language to convey the meaning of that original word. But sometimes getting the details right can come at the expense of the big picture. For example, the literal translation for a butt dial and the literal translation for a booty call could end up being exactly the same if they were translated very literally into another language. But we all know that those are two very different ideas. A paraphrase, on the other hand, is attempting to capture the spirit of the idea that is being expressed. But both approaches have their own disadvantages. Sometimes, the most literal translation for each word, while technically accurate, loses something in its translation. For example, if you were to translate the phrase, "cat got your tongue," into another language, it would make no sense to them. Why would a cat grab your tongue? What are you even talking about? In order to convey the original idea, you would have to find out which saying is used in that other language to express the same concept. But it might not involve a cat, or even any animal at all. So the literal translation would not be a very accurate one. But in a case like the one that I just described, the idea is more important than it is to stick to a very literal translation that loses all of the intended meaning. However, because paraphrases are an individual's interpretation of the underlying idea instead of a rigorous academic translation of the word, they are not as accurate as a translation is. A paraphrase is a lot more subjective, and that makes it much more susceptible to interpretations that are way off the mark of the original text's intent. The focus of a translation is on detailed accuracy, and sometimes the broader picture is not conveyed very clearly as a result. The focus of a paraphrase is on painting that big picture, but it often loses the accuracy of the finer details. Both of these are useful, as long as you understand which is which, and what the disadvantages to each approach are. And that is why I recommend using both an accurate translation, like the New American Standard, and a responsible paraphrase. Psalm 13. Please give me an answer. How long must I continue trying desperately to hang on, Most High? Will you forget about me forever? How long will you turn your face away from me and disappear from my sight so that I cannot find you? How long must I endure these knots in my stomach that come from asking myself over and over, what am I to do? While anxiety fills my entire soul. How long must I try to survive under the heavy burden of a grief that weighs down my heart all day, every day? How much longer do I have to endure the unbearable humiliation of watching my enemy crow over me in triumph and dominate my whole life's existence. Thoroughly take in every aspect of my current condition. Just answer me, Most High, for you are my God. I look to you. Bring light back to my eyes to illuminate my darkness and enlighten me, or I will die of my own overwhelming despair. And if my story were to actually end that way, my enemy will say I was finally able to beat him down and conquer him. The person who has been the torment of my entire existence will be victorious, anticipating my downfall. But I have staked my life on the solid rock of your mercy and devotion, which knows no end. So even in my present circumstances, I know that my heart will ultimately revel in the safety that you will continue to provide, and celebrate the countless ways that you have saved me. So I choose to sing to the Most High in this moment too, because he has never failed to look after me, and he always generously exceeds my needs. I pray that whatever voice God might choose to give me in this world, he would also give me the words that I should use it for. These words have meaning for me, and if they had some meaning for you as well, then I am truly grateful that we have both been given a gift from above and from each other. Have a good day out there, my friends.